Karen always believed the HOA was her personal kingdom, and the rest of us were her subjects. She'd send out violation notices like they were royal decrees. Wrong shade of curtains, wrong kind of mailbox, grass a half-inch too tall. But the day I got her biggest stunt yet in the mail, I realized she was about to out Karen herself. The envelope was thick, official-looking, stamped with HOA letterhead. Inside was a notice that read, "You are hereby fined $250,000 for repeated noncompliance with HOA standards. Payment is due within 30 days. $250,000. For what? According to Karen, my garage structure was an eyesore, my fencing height was illegal, and my livestock presence was a safety hazard. All things I had permits for and had beaten her on in hearings before. But now she'd upped the ante, slapping a fine so astronomical it was laughable. I knew she was bluffing. HOA fines have limits set by state law, and nowhere near 6 figures. But instead of fighting it the usual way, I decided to pull a move Karen would never see coming. I called my lawyer and we dug into the HOA's financials. Turns out the HOA was broke. Years of Karen's petty lawsuits, landscaping projects, and her obsession with hiring lawyers to enforce her personal vendettas had drained the coffers. They were buried in debt, and the bank was quietly moving toward foreclosure on the HOA's communal assets. All I had to do was wait, and then within 3 months, I stood in a conference room with my attorney and signed the paperwork. The HOA's debts were settled by me, which meant ownership transferred, which meant I now controlled the very HOA Karen had used as her cudgel. The next HOA meeting was legendary. Karen sat at the head of the table, smug as ever, binder full of violations ready to swing. She called the meeting to order, started rattling off infractions. And then I cleared my throat. "Actually, Karen, I'll take it from here." She shot me a glare. "You don't run this meeting." "I do." I slid a folder across the table. Inside, the purchase agreement, signed, notarized, and stamped with the county clerk's seal. Her face went pale as she read. This can't be real." "Oh, it's real. The HOA is bankrupt. I paid off its debts, which makes me the new owner of the HOA corporation." The room fell silent. Board members who used to nod along with her nonsense suddenly looked very interested in their shoes. I continued, "Effective immediately. All fines issued under Karen's leadership are void. HOA fees are suspended indefinitely. And as of today, this HOA is dissolved." Karen sputtered, You can't just dissolve it." I grinned. "Check the bylaws. Turns out I can. And I just did." The neighbors erupted into applause. People were hugging, cheering, some even recording Karen's meltdown for posterity. She shrieked about power grabs and illegal takeovers. But no one cared anymore. The cherry on top, since Karen had been the president who oversaw all those frivolous lawsuits and shady landscaping contracts, she was now personally liable for some of the leftover debts that weren't absorbed in the settlement. By the end of it, she wasn't fining me $250,000. She was the one paying out of her own pocket. The day the No HOA banner went up at the neighborhood entrance was one of the happiest in recent memory. Kids had lemonade stands, people parked however they wanted, and I threw a block party at my place just to celebrate freedom. Karen never forgave me, but she couldn't do a thing about it. She'd built her empire on HOA rules, and I bought it out from under her, then burned it down. She fined me $250,000. I bought her HOA instead. And the look on her face when she realized she wasn't in charge anymore? Priceless.